A very good morning, my dear INVI members, my dear participants. It's been a pleasure to meet you all once again in this INVI Industrial Empowerment session. INVI is being founded by alumnus of College of Engineering Indy, IIT, and RLI to ensure that technological inventions have been incorporated in the day-to-day activities and in the industrial process. INVIT has been having three wings. The first wing is research and development wing. The second wing is being known as audit and inspection wing. The third wing, which is being known as INVIT corporate trading wing. By INVIT corporate training wing, we have been having our industry empowerment session. This is our 49th session. It's been a pleasure to be with you all for this 49th session. And thanks for this invitee, for this wonderful opportunity. And I thank one and all for making this event a much big success because this is the 49th event. As I told you, this is the 49th event. Making sure that the event has been continuously, it has been done for 49th week is always such a hard task. Making this hard task a very simple one by all the participants. We like to thank one and all for this grand success. This week, we have been had a topic on ensure chemical safety by incorporating globalized harmonized system. Yes, we are going to see about globalized harmonized system, how this GHS can able to ensure chemical safety, how this GSS can able to be incorporated in our day-to-day activities whenever we have been going to use these chemicals, how this GSS will be more useful. Rather, yes, we need to have the safety data sheet. Apart from the safety data sheet, how effectively this GHS globalized harmonized system can be incorporated in a system, we are going to see that. In our day-to-day activities, apart from our industry, yes, we have been using a lot of chemicals starting from the day to end of the day. Without chemical, the world cannot revolve. As of today, we can able to say that the world cannot revolve. Yes, world cannot revolve. Every one of us, we need chemicals. But how safely we can able to use the chemicals? Are we giving a kind of knowledge, a kind of safe operating procedures, a kind of awareness to the chemical users? Think about this, starting from your home to the industry. Are we giving this awareness? Because awareness is going to be a very important thing. So creating the awareness can able to ensure that the people have been using these chemicals in a safe way for the intended purpose. They do know the do's and don'ts whenever they are going to use the chemicals. So the first takeaway from this session is going to be, yes, we are going to use the chemicals. Chemicals is not going to be harm for ourselves, but how we can able to ensure that the chemical is not going to cause harms. It's only whenever you are going to ensure that the end user is being empowered by what to do, what should not do, what is the property of chemicals. There are seven hazardous chemicals. The chemicals hazardous chemicals can be classified into seven types. Basically, it is a classification has been basically on seven types, starting from corrosive, flammable, toxic chemicals. It is going to be the reactive chemicals, biological infections, and carcinogenic, cancer causing agents. And the last one is radioactive. So whenever you are going to talk about a chemical, hazards in the chemical, this is going to be the broad classification of hazards of chemicals in seven different verticals. So if I want to communicate to the end user, as I told you, that this chemical is going to be corrosive, this chemical is going to be reactive, this chemical is going to be the carcinogenic. How we can able to ensure that the communication, effective way of communication is being transferred to the end user? How we can able to done? It can able to done only whenever we are going to have a system in place, a unique system in place, a unique system in place to ensure that everyone understands. You see that whenever you get chemicals, whenever the people have been using the chemicals, you have been from the background of chemical, you know that a chemical will be manufactured from a different country. The raw materials which we got for the chemicals is going to be from the different country. So the end user is going to be from the different country. If that is going to be the scenario, how this common hazards have been going to communicate to the end users, to the persons who have been manufacturing the chemicals. So everyone have been think about that, and they have been came out with a normal, okay, a kind of a common structure of GHS. So this is going to be the need of GHS. First, they have been understood the need because there are multiple set of requirements and multiple set of compliance. Each person is having his own requirements, labels have been different. So the person, the industry which is been manufacturing, it is going to paste its labels, but whenever it's going to come here, the interruptions of the labels is going to be not going to be the same way with what intention they have been done. So they want to understand, they want to standardize the pictogram, they are going to harmonize the hazard statements, they are going to reduce the confusion. Each country is going to have its own labeling system, is going to have its own a kind of signal word, is going to have its own kind of hazardous signal words. So to ensure that, to make it in a common platform, that any country at the end of any country, if you are going to do this, don't worry, it's going to be the same. This is going to be the exact need, this is going to be the exact need, this is the need which is being put forth before the invention of GHS. Yes, this, for this needs, for this objectives, hazards, hazardous harmonized system, globalized harmonized systems has been developed upon. So based on this, GHS is going to give you a globalized harmonized system which has been accepted, okay, which has been accepted by most of the countries, developed and developing countries. What is going to define? It's going to define the hazards. It's going to communicate the health and safety informations, which is going to be, of course, it is going to be the safety data sheet, but it's going to communicate, it's going to classify the hazards, which is going to be a common structure, a well accepted structure by all the developed and the developing countries. So this is the need. So from this, GHS has been evolved. Next, we are going to see about the parts of GHS, globalized harmonized system, the different parts of globalized harmonized system. The six parts, whenever you are going to see about globalized harmonized system, GHS labeling, we are going to see this six words, six terms, six parts is going to be present in GHS. We have to understand the six parts. This six parts is going to give us, each part is going to give us one information that is going to be more valued in terms of usage, in terms of precaution, in terms of selecting the PPEs, in terms of kind of emergency preparation, in terms of educating the end users. So we are going to have six subdivision in GHS. What are the subdivision? The first subdivision is going to be the product identified. What is the product which we are handling, which we are going to use? This is the first one is going to be the product identified. The second one is going to be the signal word. Signal word is nothing but a one statement, a one word, sorry, it's a one word which is going to give you how hazard it is, how hazard the chemical is. So it is going to be defined by only one word. The entire chemical is going to be defined by a single word, that is known as single word statement. The next one is the hazard statement. Hazard statement, in what hazard it is. Signal word, it is going to give us about how risk it is. The hazard is there. From that hazards, how risk can able to be there to the human. It is going to be the signal word. The next one is the hazard statement. Hazard statement, what is the type of hazards that has been there? We are going to see about the classification of hazard statement in a very nurtured way, in with a very nurtured way, to have a kind of brief about this hazard statement. Hazard statement, what term the hazard is, in what way the hazard has been connected to the chemical. It has been there in hazard statement. The next one is precautionary statement. Precautionary statement, what are the precautions you have to take? This precautionary statement is going to be more useful whenever you are going to write this SOPs. SOP, standard operating procedures, while you are going to use the chemicals, that is going to be more useful whenever you are going to understand this precautionary statement. Next one is the supplier information, from whom we have been got this, what is whether is a registered supplier, and last one is going to be the pictogram. Pictogram has been most useful for a layman, for the end, for the kind of laymen who have been who have been involved in transferring the chemicals from one place to another place. There are going to be different types of pictogram. By seeing this, even a layman can able to understand the hazards which has been associated with that chemical. So there are going to be 6 parts in globalized organized system. We are going to see about two examples how GHS will look. Here, as we are told you, there are going to be 6 sections. The first section is product identified. What is a product? The product is nothing but is ammonia. Is going to be the signal word. The signal word, as I told you, we are going to have 2 types of signal word. We are going to see this in very shortly. The signal word is going to be danger. Here, for ammonia, they have been given a signal word which has been known as danger. Next, they have been given the hazard statement. What is the hazard statement? Toxic if ingested. If it has been toxic, if we have been ingested. So, this hazard statement, if you want to understand this hazard statement, if you want to understand the signal word, you have to understand what are the different signal words and what are the different hazard statement, and then you can be able to map with the real requirements to understand it. Then they have been given the precautionary statement. If something has been happened, what it has to be done, what it has to be done. It is like a first aid measures. It's like a first aid measures. So they have been given the precautionary statement. The fifth one, they have been given the supplier information. The last one, pictograms. The pictograms, they have been given you 3 pictograms. As I told you, this is going to be the 6 sections in globalized organized system. The first system is product identifier, signal word, hazard statement, precautionary statement, supplier information, and last one is going to be the pictogram. All the 6 statement is going to be named as a GHS, globalized or urbanized system. So we will see about each parameters in a very detailed format. This is going to be the second example. You can able to see what is a product, then what is the hazard pictogram, what was going to be the manufacturing. Then you are going to see the signal word. Previously we saw a signal word which has been known as a danger. Signal word is danger. Here we are going to see the signal word is also danger. So we are going to see the hazard statement here. So all the 6, okay, all the 6 which is being known as GHS system. We're coming to GHS pictogram. As I told you, this GHS pictogram is going to be a more important one. It's going to be more useful for the kind of laymen to understand by seeing the pictogram to understand what is going to be the hazards associated with this chemical. By seeing this, there are 9 GHS pictograms, my dear friends, starting from explosives, starting from flammable, starting from oxidizers. The main difference between flammables and oxidizers is nothing but, okay, it's going to be nothing but flammables is going to be flame. Oxidizers, yes, is just not going to flame, but it will give you the oxygen and make a small fire into a very big fire. So it can able to induced, it can able to stimulate the small fire into the very big fire. So it is known as oxidizes, then gases under pressures, corrosives, it's going to harm our human body. Acute toxicity, very high danger. Whenever you are going to see this acute toxicity, that chemicals, we have to be more careful. The PPEs has to be worn without any second thought. Next, we are going to see about the irritants and specific toxicity hazards. Whenever you are going to see this specific toxicity, it is going to damage any particular part of our human body. For this, they will be using this specific toxic hazards. And last one is going to be environmental hazards. While coming to this GHS pictogram, there may be a single pictogram used in the chemical based on the hazards, are a combinations of 2 to 3 kind of GSS pictogram can also be used. So based on this, first you have to understand this. There are 9 types of pictogram, and based on that pictogram, you have to understand what is hazard related to that particular chemical. We will go back and see that there are 3 pictograms has been associated with ammonia. What is the first pictogram is been representing? First pictogram is been representing flammable. It is acute. The third one is going to give you the corrosion. So based on this, there are three kind of hazards have been associated with that chemical. So we have to understand that. Here you can able to see there are two kind of hazards have been associated with that chemical. Next is going to be the signal word. My dear friends, it's going to be the signal word. The signal word, we are going to have only 2 types of signal word. Only 2 types of signal word we are going to have, either danger or warning. Either danger or warning. Whenever you are going to come across a warning, it is emphasize a relative level of a kind of danger. Whenever you are going to see a warning sign, it is going to be, yes, the chemical is hazards. The chemical is a hazard one. But whenever you are going to come across danger, it's going to be more severe hazards. It's going to be more severe hazards. So whenever you are going to come across this word danger, you have to be more careful with that chemicals. So even we can able to tell you that warning may be a chronic uh, hazard, but this danger can be acute one. Then and there, the problem will happen then and there. So we have to understand. In these 2 words, you are going to underway. You are going to see. You are going to experience any one of these words. We can able to see the previous labeling. You can able to see the hazards. They have been given danger. They have been given a word called danger. So danger means it is more severe hazards. Is going to be more severe hazards. So for ammonia, they have been given a terminology called danger. We have to be more safe towards that. Next, we have been moving towards the next part. The next part is very simple part, the hazard statement. My dear friends, this hazard statement is a very detailed statement. We have to always understand the hazard statement will be related to physical properties, will be related to health properties, or it will be related to environmental properties. So first you have to understand towards which property the hazard statement is related with. uh, if it is related with physical property like flammable, all these things will be related with physical properties. Health property, carcinogenic, toxicity, all these things will be related to health properties, environmental, acute or chronic. There are 22 types in environmental properties, acute or chronic. So there are 11 different types of hazard statement related to physical properties, 11 types of hazard statement related to health properties, and there are two types of hazard statement related to environmental properties. Here we can able to see this example. We can able to go back and see what is the hazard statement. What is the hazard statement has been given? Hazard statement, here you can able to see that highly flammable liquid and vapor. This highly flammable liquid and vapor, this highly flammable and liquid and vapor is been denoting what type of hazard property? The hazard property here they are denoting is physical. Yes or no? This hazard property is nothing but physical property. Toxic if swallowed. Toxic if swallowed is nothing but health hazards. Causes skin irritation is nothing but health hazard. So whenever you are going to have a hazard statement, the hazard statement can able to relate with physical, it can able to relate with health, or it can relate with environment. It can be a combination of all these three. It's going to be a combination of all these three. So whenever you're going to understand this, always ensure that you have been understanding the real things of it. So my dear friends, my dear kind of health experts, persons who have been working in chemicals, before you are going to write your SOP, before you are going to revise your SOP, before you are going to see the emergency preparedness plan, or if you have been looking to incorporate a good system, that a foolproof mechanism in your shop floor, ensure that you have been applying this GHS. GHS, as I told you, very simple, is going to have this six terms. If you are going to understand the six terminologies, that is going to be the biggest things which we are going to give to our employees, and we can able to ensure that the safe practice has been followed whenever they have been using the chemicals. So as a small recap, we have been shown about what is the kind of GHS, why the GHS is being need for the R, and we have been started with GHS 6 parts. In these 6 parts, we have been covered what is the different types of signal words, what is the hazard statement, what are the precautionary statement, what is the pictograms. In pictograms, we saw there are 9 pictograms, and in kind of signal word, we saw there are 2 types of signal words. In hazard statement, we saw that the hazard statement can be broadly can be classified into 3 terms. So with this, yes, thanks for this wonderful opportunity. I hope we would have been understand what is GHS and how to incorporate this GHS. If you have any kind of this doubt, okay, any kind of doubt, always you can able to write to our NVT time, a kind of team, invtcorporate@gmail.com. And thank you. I've been posted my number. Thank you, my dear national builders. Yes, we are working with chemicals. We have to ensure that our employees have been in the safest way, and we have been designing a process in such a way that their acute and chronic safety is being ensured. And very interestingly, and our next week Sunday is going to be a very big event. By all your support, which we have been got all through these years, because conducting a program for 49 weeks is really a kind of very difficult thing. This is going to be our 50th program, INVIT's 50th Industrial and Program on analysis of new OSH code and its impact. We are going to understand why this OSH code and what is going to be the expected impact by our honorable Dr. R.K. Ilangavan sir, Director General DG Fastly. It's going to be the fantastic evening on April 10th, 2022. Do register, do we ensure that your HR people, safety persons, environmental specialists, and also your PR have been registered for this wonderful event to hear about what is going to be the impact and what is going to be the expectation after implementing this OSH code. So you can able to register by scanning and using this link. Once again, I thank Inviti for this wonderful opportunity. Do register for the event, expecting to meet you all on our 50th Inviti Industrial Empowerment session. Thank you. Thank you once again.